Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Dubai Sports Council for providing us this amazing platform to be able to share all of our insights regarding the COVID-19 and its impact on the football industry. Thanks also to the Dubai clubs who are present here today, and thanks a lot also to the La Liga clubs, Valencia and Oviedo. Well, the coronavirus has hit the whole world, and it has definitely affected the sports industry. It's been a very difficult period for us, but within this current situation in which our fans were not able to watch the weekly matches, we have been working very hard with our best creativity, with our best technology, in order to adapt ourselves, in order to adjust ourselves, with the final goal to stay connected to the millions of fans that we have worldwide. For example, we launched different digital campaigns involving all clubs and players, from esports tournament to a music festival online with top musicians, football players, also not only to deliver the best experience, but also to provide extra content to our different broadcasters around the world. Right now, our focus is fully on recovery, and this began with the restart of our league matches, which I'm sure you all know kicked off on 11th of June. And to be honest, the possibility of having our players back on the pitch, the possibility of being able to finish the season has been a great accomplishment for La Liga. And we consider it as the first step towards the recovery of the football industry. Again, we are adapting ourselves. We are, for example, playing behind closed doors so far, but still, this is again about delivering a great experience, a great entertainment experience to our fans. So apart from league matches, there are many other factors impacting the football industry, such as financial or legal implications, such as the consequences of, the consequences on COVID for players, for their contracts, for their talent, and I am sure we will all be discussing all these topics during the day of today. So before we begin, I want to say that at La Liga, we firmly believe that the football industry will recover and will be back as strong as before, or even stronger. Shukran, thanks a lot for inviting us to this webinar. And of course, we look forward to these afternoon discussions. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Maite, for your kind words. Sami, do you want to have the introduction for your side, or do we start with the questions to our clubs?
I would like to welcome our clubs and a speech from our director of the Dubai Sports Council. So we start by welcoming our directors for our clubs in Dubai, Dr. Khalid Al-Zahid, Executive Director of Shabab Al-Ahli, and Mr. Saeed Ali Al-Amri, Executive Director of Al-Nasr Club, and Mr. Ahmed Youssef, Director of Football Section at Al-Wasl Club, and Mr. Ali Al-Bidwawi, Executive Director of Hatta Club. We have our 4 professional club teams in Dubai present, and we will start by a speech from Mr. Ali Omar, Director of Sport Department, which related with the clubs and football leagues at the Dubai Sports Council. He welcome everybody from your side and our side. Mr. Ali, if you please give us what is the opinion of organizing this, let's say, forum or meeting, and where do we want to be in the future.
شكرا استاذ سامي، نرحب بالجميع، نقول لكم صباح الخير. طبعا في البدايه حابين نشكر الأندية على التعاون المستمر مع مع المجلس في تنفيذ العديد من البرامج سواء كانت الموهوبين للاعبين المدربين، وايضا للقطاع الاداري والاداره التنفيذيه في شركات كره القدم. ايضا نشكر شركه انسبراتوس على جهودها معنا في التنسيق مع ليغا. طبعا شكر موصول لفريق عملنا الممتد في انديتنا المحليه اللي يعني بشكل دائم موجودين معنا في كل الاحداث والبطولات والملتقيات. طبعا بشكل مختصر الملتقى هذا يركز على بعض الممارسات الايجابيه في مجال كره القدم وكيفيه تعافي شركات كره القدم بعد هذه الجائحه اللي كان تاثيرها ممتد سواء على الصعيد الفني او الاداري او الاقتصادي. بنتعرف ان شاء الله اليوم على ممارسات من الليغا الإسبانية الأندية عريقة في مجال كيفية التعافي من هذه الجائحة. متمنين إن شاء الله في نهاية الملتقى اليوم أن نحقق الأهداف المرجوة. نكرر الشكر مرة ثانية للليغا والأندية المحلية ورغم لشركة انسبراتوس وفريق العمل الداخلي. ونتمنى إن شاء الله يعني ملتقى تفاعلي نشارك في آرائنا وخبراتنا مع أندية الليغا. شكرا للجميع.
Mr. Ali Omar thanks La Liga, the institute and the Spanish clubs, and thanks our clubs in Dubai to participate in this, and thanks to Inspiratos who work with us to make this event start as we hope. Our subject is very important one. It is the recovery of the clubs after COVID-19. So we are talking about critical things. And as you know all, Spanish League or La Liga, they are leading in the world and in Europe. So we are keen to know what your procedures and to get to talk together and get the best for our clubs and their recovery to start the new season in 2 months from now. Thank you.
Shukran, Sami, Ali. To start this webinar, I would like to introduce you our guests from Spain. They are now in both Valencia and Oviedo. We will start with Franco Segarra. He is the head of ticketing, fan experience and business intelligence in Valencia Club de Fútbol. We will also have Federico González, advisor in Real Oviedo, and Francesc Arnau, the technical director in the team. I would like to thank them because I know it's been difficult weeks for all of them. Today was supposed to be the first day of the new season, and especially for Francesc Arnau, in charge of all the sport structure in Real Oviedo. I'm sure this day will be very different from what it was supposed to be. So thank you very much for being here today with us. Franco, how are you living these days in Valencia Club de Fútbol, being back to the offices and trying to recover from COVID-19 situation?
Hi everyone, thanks for having me here. It's a great opportunity. Yes, you say it's great to have football back on track. In fact, this afternoon we are playing our third match closed door since the season restarted after the COVID stop. We were playing this afternoon against Athletic de Bilbao. Getting back to the offices has been great. I believe it was really necessary. Once you start working from home so many days, at one stage you also need to come back to the offices, work, see your teammates and so on. So it's been great. Great to be back. Hopefully, still everything's not the same as it used to be, but hopefully every time we are putting all the ingredients to make it work as soon as possible.
Thank you, Franco, Francesc, Federico. They will talk in Spanish, and I will translate their answers. So let me say hi to them in Spanish. Federico, Francesc, muchas gracias por estar hoy junto a todos nosotros en este día tan importante para Dubái y para todos sus clubes. ¿Cómo estáis viviendo estos primeros días en la vuelta a la normalidad? Estaba diciendo antes en inglés, Francesc, que hoy, 1 de julio, estaba destinado a ser un día muy diferente para ti, ¿no? Primer día de la temporada 2021 y sin embargo, pues aquí estamos, todavía cerrando la anterior.
Aún están compitiendo, porque aún no sabemos cómo vamos a hacer. Ahora estamos en una situación pues, complicada porque estamos ahora mismo en posición de descenso y tenemos que, para saber qué tenemos que hacer la temporada que viene, tenemos que solventar esta, ¿no? Ha sido una situación muy distinta después del parón, donde tuvimos que, primero, lo más importante fue mantener en forma a nuestros jugadores. Les pusimos un gimnasio en mi casa para que ellos pudieran mantener el nivel físico lo más cercano posible a lo que era entrenar en campo. Y luego, pues también a partir de ahí, pues preparamos los protocolos que esto con la Liga. Creo que la organización ha sido fantástica en el tema protocolo, porque empezamos, nos adaptamos muy bien al tema de los test y de tener una seguridad para poder competir, ¿no? Que era lo que importaba, ¿no? Que para poder competir teníamos que estar libres del coronavirus. No sé si quieres que siga un poco más o traduce un poco.
Sí. Si me dejas traducirte, I will translate what Francesc has been saying. I asked him because today was supposed to be the first day of the new season, so it's a really big challenge for him being in charge of the sport structure because the team is still competing. So now they're actually trying to avoid the relegation. So for them, it's very different. The planification and the strategy if they can avoid the relegation or if the team finally doesn't get it. So it's been hard days for them, but they are trying to adapt themselves. During the last months, their team and their coaches has been trying to keep the physical performance training at home, and now they are trying to adapt to the new protocols being guided by La Liga in terms of security, because for us the most important things are, as you know, the health of the players and all the people in the teams, not just the players, but also the coaches, the people in the offices. So that's what they are facing now, and they are trying to adapt as soon as possible to this new situation. Federico, I don't know if Francesc want to keep his speech. Francesc, no sé si tenías algo más que añadir o pasamos a Federico.
Bueno, pregunta Federico.
Sí, Federico, ¿qué tal? Buenos días, gracias también por estar con nosotros. I will ask Federico about this new situation, how the clubs are facing this loss of incomes and having to play behind closed doors, what it's changing in their teams. Federico, buenos días. Les está diciendo que tu pregunta va por ya empezar a enfocarnos en el tema del COVID-19, cómo estáis viviendo esta situación, pues de jugar a puerta cerrada y lo que esto está suponiendo pues en pérdida de ingresos, de no poder planificar la temporada que viene. ¿Cómo os estáis enfrentando a este reto?
Hola, buenos días. Les agradecemos a la Liga la invitación, a la gente de Dubái, a la gente de nuestro equipo aquí en España, que podamos platicar e intercambiar opiniones. Podríamos intentar hacerlo en inglés, pero para expresarnos mejor preferimos nuestra lengua materna. Definitivamente ha sido un problema muy difícil desde febrero. Nosotros, cuando empezamos a ver la problemática que se venía en el mundo, tratamos de prevenir, tratamos de tener todo listo si había una crisis como lamentablemente sucedió. Como decía Francesc, cuando tuvimos que suspender actividades, fuimos de los primeros equipos en España que pedimos que se suspendiera la liga y que no se volviera a jugar si no teníamos aficionados en el campo, porque sentimos que es parte de la situación. ¿Cómo nos afectó? Bueno, pues al no tener ingresos por los juegos, los patrocinadores solicitan ajustes, los abonados igualmente solicitan que también les hagamos ajustes y estuvo cerrado el país prácticamente 90 días, un poquito más de 90 días, no teníamos ventas en las tiendas. Entonces, todos los ingresos con los que cuenta un club día a día se vieron caídos totalmente, casi totalmente a cero. Tuvimos un gran éxito con la cuestión de las ventas online, porque eso lo mantuvimos, y quiero decirte que en Real Unido tenemos un gran equipo de gente que siguió trabajando desde casa durante todo el tiempo y mantuvimos la operación prácticamente intacta, salvo la cuestión de ir al campo a jugar. Toda la cuestión operativa, toda la cuestión administrativa siguió funcionando sin ningún problema con todos los compañeros desde casa. ¿Qué estamos haciendo? Bueno, pues estamos tratando de reinventarnos para ver de qué forma vamos a tener mejores ingresos. Nosotros le propusimos a la Liga hace más de un mes que, así como el gobierno permitía algunos eventos con el 30% de capacidad, nos pudieran permitir a nosotros tener el 30% de aficionados. Teníamos el proyecto totalmente terminado. Nuestro estadio es un estadio grande de 30,000 plazas. Teníamos la forma de meter 10,000 por las 37 puertas que tenemos. Hubieran entrado 270 personas por cada una en 5 minutos. Lo teníamos todo estudiado. Lamentablemente las autoridades no nos lo han permitido y eso, bueno, pues también cuenta para que no podamos conservar nuestros ingresos. Estamos reinventando cosas en marketing, estamos buscando nuevos patrocinadores que no son los que se han anunciado tradicionalmente, pero que ahora tienen la oportunidad de anunciarse por la oportunidad que brinda esta pandemia. Es una ironía, sí, que nos golpee la pandemia tan fuerte, pero hay muchas industrias que han resurgido y que se mantienen muy fuertes porque es la necesidad que tenemos de ellos.
Thank you, Federico. Federico was saying that from Real Oviedo, they tried to anticipate to the situation. When they heard the first news about the COVID situation, they started to work in different plans to try to avoid this loss of incomes that was expected to be in place. So they want to think and to focus the big effort they do and his team did in terms of online marketing and online sales. It was a very big source of incomes for them, and the team keep working at home as hard as in the office to keep the incomes and not to lose everything. They had to reinvent themselves. They were also working alongside with La Liga to start the planifications to have people in the stands. So they have their protocol to get the people back to the stadium once the government allows it. So they are ready for facing this situation and for facing the problems that COVID-19 situation had in them. So they are trying to reinvent themselves, as I've been saying, in terms of looking for new ways to get sponsors and new ways to get these incomes, because it's not everything lost, and a lot of industries will be back soon and will be back even stronger. So they are trying to prepare themselves for it. Thank you, Francesc. Federico. Franco, Federico was talking about people in the stands. Unfortunately, we are not allowed to let the people come into the stadiums yet. What have you done from Valencia Club de Football with your season ticket holders, and what are your plans to get these incomes that now we can't have them?
Yeah, thank you, Danny. So basically, just so everyone is a bit in context, Valencia has a stadium with a capacity around 48,800 people, depending on the competition. We actually have the maximum amount of season ticket holders we can have on the stands, which is 40,000. We cannot have any more because when you play UEFA competition, you need to have some spare seats for the away visiting people and some other conditions of ticket sales and so on. So right now we have 40,000 season ticket holders. And the thing about these 40,000 season ticket holders is that we owe them something right now. The reason is because they paid when the season started, they paid for watching a number of games. We have a season ticket which includes all the games that are played in the stadium. Unfortunately, there were 5 games from La Liga that were not played open doors. So the thing is that the problem about COVID is that not only we are not going to get extra money from the match day ticketing, but we also owe some money that we already counted with to the season ticket holders. So we need to get really creative to find a way of, on the first hand, making the customers, in this case, the season ticket holders, our fans, happy and fair. And on the second hand, we try and avoid to hand back the money. So we need to, from this crisis, we need to find the opportunity to see what we could do. So we basically are giving 3 options to the season ticket holders as a compensation for those games that were not played open doors and they could not attend. The first thing that we did, the first option is we ask if you want to give away the amount that we owe you for the sake of Valencia CF. In exchange, we will give you certain preferences for next year. So for example, once we start having matches open doors, as Real Oviedo said, it might be 20% or 30%. And for those people that selected this option and they said, I don't want the money back from the club, I'm fine, I don't need the money back, those people will be the first ones next year to be able to attend to the stadium. We will also give, in exchange, the opportunity to buy a t-shirt for free, a new t-shirt from the season 2021. In case option 2, what we have in option 2 is that we are giving, instead of giving the money back in this season, we offer you the possibility of giving you the money back as a discount for season ticket 21-22. The reason we are not doing this for season ticket 2021 is because we believe season 2021 is not going to be a normal season either. And then the last option that we are giving is the fact that you ask for the money and we do a reimbursement exactly on your bank account. So these are the 3 options that we are giving the people. We believe they are fair because we always give all the options, but we try and prefer for people to choose option 1 or option 2. That's why we try and make that option much more attractive than option 3, which is giving the money back now. So by having option 2, which is giving the money back 2 years from now with a greater amount in a discount from a season ticket, and 2 years from now, season 21-22, we are trying to have this relationship with the season ticket holders much longer. So this was the idea of how we are trying to mitigate and avoid the problem with the COVID with the season ticket holders.
Thank you, Franco. It was not just a problem in terms of incomes, but it's been also a problem in terms of player contracts and the planification for next year. So I will ask Francesc about it. Francesc, no es solo una cuestión de económica el problema que estamos teniendo, sino también en cuanto a contratos de jugadores, lo que decías de planificación de la temporada que viene, pues que no la estás pudiendo llevar a cabo hasta no saber en qué condiciones va a acabar el equipo la temporada. ¿Cómo ha cambiado tu trabajo en los últimos meses y qué esperas que sea este verano tan complicado para ti?
Sí, bueno, lo primero que tuvimos que hacer a nivel contractual fue cambiar los contratos, extenderlos más allá del 30 de junio. ¿Vale? Teníamos 3 situaciones distintas. Una era los jugadores sin contrato, que había que extender pues, hasta que terminara el nuevo final de temporada, que en la Liga Española es el 19 de julio. Entonces tuvimos que hablar con los futbolistas pues, que en vez de terminar sus contratos el día 30 de junio, terminara el día 19 de julio. Esto, por lo menos en nuestro caso particular, no fue difícil, porque tenemos un buen grupo y todos aceptaron la situación y todos los jugadores se quedaron sin coste alguno para el club. ¿Vale?
Perdón, déjame intervenir ahí un momento porque creo que es importante apuntar lo siguiente. Durante la época de crisis, la Liga recomendó a los equipos que hicieran un ERTE. Tú les explicas a ellos de qué se trata un ERTE, porque no lo puedo explicar fácilmente en español, menos lo voy a poder explicar en inglés. Sin embargo, nosotros, el club tomó la decisión de que nosotros no iríamos a un ERTE. Como tú sabes, nosotros pertenecemos a un grupo multinacional muy fuerte a nivel mundial y cuando empezó la pandemia en el mundo, el presidente de nuestro grupo indicó que ningún empleado del grupo tendría problemas con su salario por cuestión de la pandemia, y eso incluía al Real Oviedo. Nosotros por eso no fuimos al ERTE. Todos los empleados del Real Oviedo hemos cobrado absolutamente todo nuestro salario hasta el último céntimo en tiempo y forma, y eso también le tocó a los jugadores. Entonces, sabemos que mucha de la reacción de los jugadores, lo que estaba diciendo en este momento Francés, de que no tuvo costo el extender los contratos, es en reciprocidad a lo que nosotros hicimos con ellos. Perdón por la interrupción.
Ok, déjame traducir. Okay, for Real Oviedo, they had three differences in terms of player contracts. The first of all was the players that their contract expired on yesterday, the last day of June. So they had to talk to them and convince them about extending the contract till the season is finished. It will be around July 19th. So they had to talk to them, and they could convince all of them because they have a very good group of players and they had a very good behavior with the club. So they could convince all of them to extend their contract till the season was finished. At this point, Federico also added that it was really important for them because from the Spanish government and also La Liga recommended that to do an unpaid leave for the workers till the COVID-19 situation finished. But the Real Oviedo group behind Real Oviedo decided worldwide to not give any unpaid leave to their workers and to keep their salaries, and they did that, and thankful, the players were really thankful to it, that the club didn't do an unpaid leave for them, so they extended all of them their contracts. The second option, Francesc.
La segunda situación era los contratos de los cedidos. Y ahí había dos situaciones distintas entre los clubes españoles y extranjeros. Con los clubes españoles fue más fácil porque hemos sido solidarios y todos hemos entendido que teníamos que extender el contrato sin coste alguno para el club de destino. O sea, el club de origen asumía el coste, ¿no? Con los extranjeros, y no solamente al Oviedo, sino también en otros clubes españoles, y me consta, hemos tenido más problemas. Los clubes extranjeros sí que han pedido compensaciones económicas para mantener los jugadores hasta el 19 de julio. Y la tercera situación es los contratos que ya tenemos pactados con los jugadores, pero sí que hay plazos de comunicación, de rescisiones, de bonus, que ha habido que cambiar la fecha de comunicación.
The second situation for them was with the players that were on loan, and both in their team and the players they had on loan. And this situation was also divided in two different situations. The first one, with the Spanish clubs, there were no problem for them to extend their loans. They all reach an agreement to extend the loans on the players with no extra cost, but with the teams from abroad of Spain, they had to renegotiate the terms of the loan of the players, and in some cases they had to pay an extra cost for the player contract extension. And then in the third term, the players that already had their contract extended for the next seasons, but they had to change in terms of bonus and some dates in their contracts to adapt to the new season and to the new situation. So for them, it's been a lot of work, but they are happy because they could deal all of them, and they could get the team till the end of the season. So thank you, Francesc, Federico. Franco, I'll be back to you because now we are far away from our fans because they are not allowed to come to the stadiums. But fortunately, we have a good chance to get them into different ways. So how do we approach now after this situation to the fans, and how can we get closer to them with this situation?
Well, I have to say it was quite a challenge during the COVID process. It was a challenge to get to the fans. So it was really new to have so many days without any type of football content. right? So we tried and show ourselves close to the city, close to the people. There were lots of things that were happening from the club in order to help the people. There were health material that was donated by the owner to some hospitals. We tried to do lots of games in social media. We tried, for example, from the fan area, which is the fan experience area I manage, we called all those people that were above 70 years old, our season ticket holders, and asked them how they were passing the quarantine period and so on. There were around 2,000, more or less 1,800, I believe, season ticket holders that were over 70 years old. So we called them and try and take care of them. We try to be really active and proactive for the people, and that was during the quarantine period. We also now have different ways of getting the teams to sim and the team feel the people and the people feel the team as if they were in the stadium. So we have some things going on the match day. You probably see some of the things from the TV. But there's things that do not appear on the TV that we try and make like sounds and videos, and we try and approach the players so that they try and feel as much as possible the people from their homes. Also, we do the other way around. We are trying to bring the stadium to people's homes. So we are selling some different things on our store, like for example seats from the stadium, so that you can build your own stadium seats on your own home. We're also selling some big pictures and photos that from the stadium, so that you can put those. We're also selling some food and beverage that is usually sold on the stadium, so that you can feel that you are on the stadium even though you're watching the game on the TV. But it is a big challenge, and this is something really new for us, and we are trying to show ourselves and become as close to the fans as possible in this stage. We believe we need to be close to them. We believe that there is now time for the people, time for the fans, time to show our support to them, health workers, every type of frontline workers. For example, yesterday we gave away some shirts to the hospital frontline workers that we work with. And I mean, it's just a matter of engaging the fans in a complete different way. Of course, football and scoring goals and winning games keeps the people much more distracted and keeps the people much more engaged. So once we didn't have that, we had to become really creative and play games with the people. We also showed some past success games that we had in the past, and we try to keep the people entertained by using the football as a medium, let's say.
Mm-hmm. And Franco, you are ready to do it because some time ago you decided to focus your strategy also in the data knowledge and to know who your fans are, where are they, what are their favorite players, what do they want to receive from your site. So here again, very important to know our fans and this data knowledge that you have been collecting since some time ago.
Yes, absolutely. So 2 years ago, we started a digital transformation process in the club, which I'm very proud to be a part of. And we started by creating our own app, our own web. We started incorporating some other services like e-commerce and ticketing. So this is just a way of getting to know our people, getting to know how they interact with the brand, how they interact with Valencia CF. And we try and analyze everything that goes on. So, for example, in the social media stage, every post we do, everything we do, it has a bit of thought behind it. We try and analyze: is it the best time of the day to throw out this post? How do people interact on different days of the week, on different months of the year? Should this content be, should we put some video or photo? Do people need more video or a photo? So we measure everything that goes on. Of course, social media, every type of social media is different. We know we've got different consuming habits from, let's say, TikTok, which we launched 1.5 months ago, from Instagram, from Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. We tend and customize those posts as much as possible to optimize the return value from every single one of those posts. But basically, it is that you say it's not something singular from the fan engagement thing. We try and put some data and to work for us in every single decision we make, every single thing we do. We try and be supported by the data behind it, the ticketing, pricing, the customer service, the finance side, the marketing, sponsorship, everything. We try and incorporate the data, because we try to and believe that we should become a data-driven company. I know it's difficult because football it's a different type of business, and it's quite traditional in some sense. It's also quite passionate. So I believe this makes exact sense, because otherwise, if you do not put something objective, you do not put numbers and data to play here, you might be trusting your gut, your experience, and I believe that could be quite dangerous in some aspects. So even though football is quite traditional and many people base their decisions on their experience or what they feel is right, I believe we should do as other companies do, as banks do, and as some other companies do, of course, technological company, and we should become a data-driven company. And as part of this data-driven angle that we are trying to follow is, of course, fan engagement. We try and know our fans in order to provide them the best possible experience.
Thank you, Franco. Before starting with the Dubai clubs and their own experiences, I'd like to ask a last question to Real Oviedo. And I think it's very interesting for Francesc. How do you think this situation will change the football market, the transfers, the loans, and the importance of the players from the youth teams? Francesc, te decía, ¿cómo crees que va a cambiar esta situación el mercado de fichajes, las cesiones, la importancia de la cantera?
Sí, bueno, lo primero que cambia es que el mercado en España ya tenemos fechas, desde el 4 de agosto hasta el 5 de octubre. Lo que tengo claro, por lo menos en segunda división, no va a haber transfers, o sea, no podremos pagar cantidad alguna para transfer. También tendremos que saber, como ellos bien saben o como sabéis vosotros, tenemos un control muy rígido en cuanto a la liga, en cuanto a la posibilidad de gastar, o sea, no podemos gastar más de lo que la liga nos permite. Y cuando sepamos esto, pues lo que tenemos claro es que este año quizás nuestra masa salarial está por encima de que la liga nos va a permitir. Entonces ahí tendremos que adaptarnos, quizás pues hacer trueques con otros equipos. No podremos pagar un transfer, tendremos que tirar mucho de cesiones, mucho de contrataciones a coste cero. A lo mejor tendremos que bajar el número de jugadores de plantilla e incorporar más jugadores de la cantera que son más baratos, ¿no? Tenemos que ser un poco como un mercadillo, ¿no? de intercambio, más que ir y poner una cantidad para poder pagar. Luego a lo mejor también tendremos que ver qué posibilidades hay de renegociar contratos con los futbolistas que tengan los contratos más altos para intentar bajar esa masa salarial y adaptarnos al control de la liga.
Thank you, Arnau. There are many key points here talking about the transfer market and the salaries of the players and these kind of situations that we have to face now. In Spain, the clubs have limited. Let me think about how to say it. Like the money they can spend is limited and controlled by La Liga, so now they have to adapt it. There are a lot of changes that they have to renegotiate the salaries of the players because their expenses now are up than what they can pay them. So they will have to adapt these salaries. It will be very important because it's almost sure that they won't be allowed to pay money for players. So they will have to exchange players with other teams. So we will see a lot of player exchanges instead of I will pay this club a certain amount of money. So it's something we will start also to see. Probably they will have less players than this year because of the salaries problem, and they will complete their squad with players from the youth teams. So now the importance of the young players will be much higher. Francesc, Federico, Franco, thank you very much for your answer. ¿Sí?
Perdón, Federico. Me gustaría hacer una breve historia nada más para que los señores de Dubái sepan un poquito más sobre el Real Oviedo. Real Oviedo es un club totalmente distinto a todo lo que hay en España, porque, como mencioné, originalmente hay un accionista mayoritario, pero en el 2012, cuando se tuvo un grave problema de existencia, la gente de Oviedo salió al mundo a hacer un levantamiento de accionistas, y nada más para que ellos sepan, tenemos más de 20,000 accionistas en todo el mundo, y en la parte del mundo donde están ellos tenemos un accionista de Dubái, que es Said El Khadi. Creo que esto nos hace diferentes porque, como te digo, tenemos 20,000 accionistas y estamos trabajando también con ellos para buscar su apoyo y su ayuda, que sería otra de las formas que tendríamos de financiar lo que hemos dejado de ingresar por el problema del COVID.
Okay, thank you, Federico. He wanted you to know the structure of Real Oviedo, because they are different from other clubs. They have a principal owner, they have a very big group behind them, but they also have a big amount of stakeholders behind them, more than 20,000. Even one of them is from Dubai, so they are trying to get these incomes in many different ways from the traditional ones, and this ownership is allowed to everybody who wants to buy stakeholders from Real Oviedo to do it. Thank you, Federico. Sami, it's time for the Dubai clubs, but I think we have a question here in the chat I would like them to answer before going with your clubs, and it's to know what are the precautions you are having these days in the offices and also with the players. Franco.
Well, now in the offices, for example, I can speak from the offices point of view. For the players, there's a huge protocol that there's following that is provided by La Liga also. But from the offices point of view, so now that we are getting back to work, we do so with following the sanitary protocol. So we have to wear mask. I don't wear mask right now because I'm on my own office. But for all the rest of the people, they usually wear masks if they have to work below 1.5 meters. We are working from home 60% of the week, so we only come here 30 to 40% of the days and our time. And also we do so by having several groups of work. So we have developed a strategy so that the desks that sit together, they only one of those two people comes on a certain day, and then the day after the other one comes. So we try and follow the 1.5 meter regulation, and also wearing masks if that's not possible for whatever reason. And we try and avoid meetings. So all the meetings we are having from Zoom or Meet or Teams in our case. And yeah, that's basically it. But yet, even with all those conditions, getting back to work in the offices seems like a great step. And at least in my case, I have to say it's something that cheers you up a bit rather than staying from home every single day.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Franco. Sami, I think it's your time.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you to Franco, also from our friends Francisco and Federico from Real Oviedo. And thank you to Mike Ventura for what has been said till now. We have actually 86 participants. Some of them just joined lately. So let me brief them in Arabic. I will brief them. I give a very small summary about what has been said. اخوان كما سمعتم المشاكل طبعا هي واحدة في العالم، لكن الحلول تختلف. كل نادي قاعد يبحث عن حلول خاصة به. هناك المشاكل كما تفضلوا بنادي فالنسيا، هناك مشاكل في التذاكر الموسمية. يمكن احنا هذا عندنا اقل الجماهير، لكن تبقى ايضا عندكم جماهير عزيزة عليكم، ما تريدون تزعلوهم، هناك حلول هم وضعوها لكيفية معالجة هذه المشكلة. هناك من دفع مقدما فعرضوا عليه لا تستغني عن ما دفعته لأنه ما راح تدخل بقية الموسم هذا، الموسم الجاي لك الأفضلية، إذا تنفتح 30% مثلا جمهور 40% أنت حتكون منهم لأنه أنت دعمت فيه، أو لا نعمل لك تخفيضات في الموسم المقبل. هذا حل من الحلول. هناك أيضا مشكلة عقود اللاعبين، نوعين عقود انتهت أمس اللي هي 30/6 معظم عقود العالم، يعني 30/6 انتهت، فالأندية دخلت في مفاوضات معهم وتقريبا نجحوا جميعا في إقناعهم بالتمديد لنهاية الموسم. وهناك عقود الإعارة وهذه يدخل فيها طرف آخر، عليك أن تفاوض اللاعب وتفاوض النادي، وأيضا واضح من كلامهم أن الجميع مقتنع بالتعاون، وبالتالي الجميع تقريبا اتفق على استكمال الإعارة لختام الموسم والتفاهم في الموسم المقبل على إجراءات جديدة. أيضا قضية جميلة اللي هي قضية طرحها نادي فالنسيا، اللي الآن الجماهير تشتاق للملعب والنادي يريد أن لا يبقي الجماهير بعيدة عنه، لذلك هناك علاقة تجارية خلينا نقول مستمرة، عاطفية تجارية بين النادي، يعني النادي لا يزال يجهز الجماهير بالمأكولات، اللي يحب يطلب طلبات ياخذها من مطعم النادي بشعار النادي تروح له للبيت، فيحس وكأنه هو في النادي جالس. حتى كراسي النادي عملوا نماذج للكراسي اللي تجلس فيها في النادي يبيعوا لك اياها، بامكانك ان تحطها في بيتك كانك يعني تجلس تشعر بامور عاطفيه وكانك في النادي. والصور والتذكارات اشياء كثيره توفر ايراد، يعني ما تجعل العائد من الجماهير صفر، وايضا تربطهم بيك بشكل او باخر. ايضا عندهم جماهير اللي هي فوق ال 70 سنه، يعني يمكن ذكروا 1800 مشجع عند تذاكر موسميه عمرهم فوق ال 70 سنه. واحنا دائما كبار المواطنين طبعا اهتمام خاص القياده توصل فيهم، فعندهم قسم خاص يتواصل معاهم ويحرص على انه يعني يتواصل ويدعوهم ويحضرون، ولهم افضليه اولويه في الحضور. تجارب جميله تثبت انه كره القدم هي بزنس لكنها ايضا عاطفه، وجماهيرك سواء كانت كبيره كما لديهم يعني المباريات يحضرون 40,000 واكثر، او جماهير قليله كما لدينا، لكن هي تبقى جماهير مهمه. فهذه ايضا ما تم طرحه قد يكون ايضا فيه يعني جوانب نفكر فيها، خصوصا انه ما سمعناه لحد الان هي حلول الى حد كبير فرديه، يعني الانديه جالسه تفكر، لا تنتظر انه الاتحاد الاسباني او ليغا يفرض عليها بروتوكول معين تسوي. نعم هناك بروتوكول طبي فيما يتعلق بنسبه الحضور، بارتداء الكمامات، التباعد، عدم حضور الجماهير، امور كثيره هذا البروتوكول الطبي. لكن في كيفيه معالجه الازمات او التحديات اللي وجدت هذا الوباء، مجال الاجتهاد موجود، كل واحد حسب جمهوره، كل واحد حسب امكانياته، كل واحد حسب قدراته، خصوصا انه الامكانيات متفاوته، وامكانيه الصمود والتعافي كما هو شعارنا في هذه الجلسه تختلف من نادي الى اخر. لذلك اخواني الان خصوصا احنا الجمهور يسمعنا، لكن احنا المشاركه ستكون مفتوحه في النقاش، يعني الاعلاميين يعذرونا، الاعلاميين او الجمهور اللي الان عددهم وصل 88 شخص مشتركين في هذه الندوه. فقط لكم حيكون متاح الحديث للمدراء التنفيذيين في دبي، ونحن في الصاله والاخوان في اسبانيا، لانه توفيرا للوقت المشاركين عن بعد ممكن يوجهون سؤال مكتوبا، وان شاء الله نجد الفرصه الى جوابه. فبالنسبه الى حضراتكم اخواني في الانديه، اذا كان لديكم تجربه تريدون تطرحوها الامر متروك لكم، أو إذا كان لديكم سؤال معين في قضية معينة في بالكم تريدون الحصول على جواب عليه، أيضا الأمر متروك لكم، يعني تختارون الزمن الذي سيتاح لكل منكم بطريقته، يريد يستعرض تجربته أو يريد يسأل سؤال. ونبدأ بأستاذ سعيد العامي، أعتقد مش أوف موجود. أستاذ سعيد تبدأ، تحب عندك شيء سؤال أو كلمة تقولها، وبعدين نذهب إلى الأخوان في بقية الأندية. تفضل، اللي تريد يتكلم إنجليزي يتكلم، اللي يريد عربي أنا بعدين أترجم.
أستاذ سامي أنا بفضل طبعا الدكتور خالد خليه يبتدي إن شاء الله، وعقب نحن بنتبع في هالموضوع إن شاء الله. تفضل دكتور خالد، تفضل دكتور خالد.
ولا يهمك. دكتور خالد حاطه سايلنت لكن هو ما يسمعنا. دكتور خالد، لا دكتور خالد ما يسمعنا. جالسين نتواصل وياه. دكتور خالد الزاهد تسمعني؟
أسمعك
دكتور، سمعتني أنا شكلت قبل شوية. عندك وقت متاح، تحب تسمع تجربة أو تتكلم عن شيء معين، أو تحب توجه سؤال للأخوان بقضية يعني تشغل فكركم وتريدون أن تشاركون الحوار بها.
Okay, first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Dubai Sports Council for this opportunity to meet very professional teams from La Liga. It's a great pleasure and honor for us. The information given was really important, and it added lots of value to us to understand under these circumstances and situations of COVID-19, what are the best actions and best scenarios, and what can clubs do in these cases during the season, and maybe because it's not something that we have worked with before or we have witnessed. So of course, when we get this experience from a professional people like La Liga who already started their league, so for sure you have started before us, so we'll need to know and understand what are the steps that you took in order to overcome this situation, and what challenges have you faced when you started the league in Spain. So what is really important for us is to understand what is the biggest challenge that you face when you started the league in Spain, and the obstacles. Is it just the financial part of it, or is it from the players' point of view? Is it the safety and security? Is it a medical issue? Is it just spectators? So just the more, I know you have issues, common issues with all the things that I've mentioned, but what is the major or the main thing that we can as a club, for example, to avoid and try to do it in a better way to avoid the issues in the future?
Let me ask Real Oviedo. Federico, Francesc preguntan sobre qué tienen que tener en cuenta de cara a evitar en un futuro pues problemas como los que estamos teniendo en estos momentos. ¿Cómo se trabaja y cómo se prepara un club para evitar estas situaciones, para que cuando sucedan pues estén en la mejor forma posible, preparados?
Bueno, en la cuestión económica pues siempre hay que tratar de fortalecer las finanzas, siendo muy cuidadosos con lo que se gasta y estar siempre en el lado positivo. Hay que evitar a toda costa los gastos superfluos, hay que evitar a toda costa los gastos innecesarios y tratar siempre, como decía en su momento Franco, darle la mejor experiencia a los aficionados cuando vienen a nuestro campo, porque eso definitivamente va a revertir en beneficio de los equipos. Entonces hay que cuidar mucho al aficionado, hay que consentirlo, hay que mimarlo, no exageradamente, pero siempre dándoles un poquito más de lo que ellos puedan esperar, para que de esa forma ellos nos retribuyan a nosotros. De igual forma es la cuestión con nuestros patrocinadores. La relación con nuestros patrocinadores es de absoluto respeto. Siempre lo damos y lo exigimos y tratamos siempre de que sea una situación ganar-ganar. Nunca tratamos de sacar ventaja en ninguna circunstancia porque estamos convencidos que el éxito en los negocios es ganar con todos tus socios y con todos tus asociados.
Thank you, Federico. Dr. Khaled, there are different points that you have to be ready before facing a situation like this. In first term, Federico said that it is really important to have a strong finance system to try to avoid expenses that you can avoid, trying not to waste the money you have and your budget in things that can be avoided. It's also very important, especially in Spain, where the clubs have a very big amount of funds to be close to them, to take care of the funds and to know what they want and try to give it to them when the club can do it. But it is really important to take care about the funds and also, of course, about the sponsors, trying not to get advantage of them, but to create win-win situations for both of them to have a winning situation in this relationship. So for him, he's trying to avoid expenses that you can avoid, not to waste your budget, and take care of the funds and the sponsors.
Thank you. Saeed.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
نادي النصر.
أستاذ سامي.
تفضل.
مشكور سعدي. First of all, thank you very much for allowing us to brief the La Liga about our protocol in UAE, especially in Al Nasr Club. Now, most of the protocol worldwide, it may be similar, or some clubs or countries or federations, they put some new things based on their situation. Now, my question, I will be avoiding all these things. I will keep that as commercial. I believe that they said we depend to cover some expenses from our.
Sí, lo primero que fue es que se ha hecho una acción conjunta desde la Liga. Eso ha sido muy importante. Hemos tenido una figura muy importante, ha sido que nos han enviado un inspector. Y a partir de ahí todo ha sido una comunicación muy fácil. Empezamos con un protocolo que se fue mejorando y adaptando a cada club, o sea, mejorando en el tiempo y adaptado a cada club a las instalaciones que tenían, porque había equipos que teníamos 2 campos, había otros equipos que teníamos 5, ¿vale? Entonces empezamos con un entrenamiento individual, luego fuimos a un entrenamiento por grupos eran máximo 10, luego pasamos a máximo 14 y luego máximo todo el equipo, ¿vale? Todo esto se hizo para hacer departamentos estancos, porque si hubiera habido un caso de COVID no hubiéramos tenido que aislar a todo el equipo. Realmente, y eso lo ha dicho Tebas, y tiene toda la razón del mundo, el peligro no fue durante el entrenamiento, porque seguíamos todos un protocolo y estaba todo muy controlado. El verdadero peligro para el contagio con los futbolistas es su vida familiar. Al principio eran mucho menos posibilidades de contagio porque el país estaba cerrado, pero ahora que el país está abierto, sí que están muy expuestos a poder coger el coronavirus. Entonces, lo más importante, aparte de tener el protocolo que siempre funciona en las 2, 3, 4 horas de entrenamiento que están en las instalaciones, hay que concienciar a los futbolistas que su vida privada tiene que ser un poco más cerrada en ese aspecto, ¿no? Cuidarse mucho de los posibles contactos y no ir a cualquier sitio para que luego puedan verse contagiadas. Ese es verdaderamente el gran reto que tiene el protocolo, ¿no? Porque el protocolo en sí está bien hecho, está bien preparado y está controlado. Realmente es fuera con los futbolistas que todos sabemos que son jóvenes y a veces pues, no son conscientes de que se están jugando la gran industria del fútbol, que es mantener nuestros ingresos en base a los derechos televisivos, ¿no?
Okay, thank you, Francesc. Frances explained that before the comeback of the competition, both La Liga and the clubs worked together in developing a health protocol to come back to the training sessions. At the beginning, the players had to train one by one, and they were not allowed to train in groups. There were another, after 2 weeks, they started training in groups of 10 players. After that, the groups were extended to 14 players, and then the clubs were allowed to train with all the players together. At the beginning, it was very important that all the groups were having the same players, since one of them, for example, was tested positive in coronavirus. They didn't have to put in quarantine all the team, but just this small group. So they worked with this protocol. There were people from La Liga in charge of the supervision of the protocol, and all the clubs helped in a very important way to develop it and to keep it. After the comeback of the competition, the players, for example, before each game, they pass a COVID test to make sure they are not exposed to another player.
Para que no piensen que somos irresponsables, Francesca y yo estamos aquí, no tenemos mascarilla. 48 horas antes de cada partido nos hacen pruebas para ver si estamos libres del COVID, y en esta semana vamos a hacer la 5ª o 6ª prueba. Y bueno, evidentemente estamos libres de COVID, de Francesca y yo, por eso estamos con toda la confianza de poder estar platicando aquí con ustedes sin tener la mascarilla.
Perfect. For example, Federico and Francesc are required to have tests in a regular basis, 2-3 days before each game, as they are really close to the players. They are part of the people required to pass this test, to know that they are not in danger, or they are not putting in danger to the players. That's why they are now totally confident that they don't have the virus, and that's why they are not wearing the mask being inside a room. So it's because the players and also the people close to them are really